Hello guys and welcome back to another flight review. Today I am flying Wizz Air on their Airbus A321 Neo from Sofia, Bulgaria to Yerevan, Armenia. And yeah, having flown Wizz Air many times in the past, I always found them pretty meh. But they are cheap and their network is great. So what is flying Wizz Air like these days? Well, come and join me on this 2.5 hour journey as we try to find out. Good morning and welcome to Sofia. I am currently heading to Vasil International Airport by metro. A one-way journey from the center to the airport takes about 45 minutes and costs less than €1. I really have to commend the Bulgarian capital for setting up such an easy and cheap airport link. The majority of European capitals have massive surcharges if you want to get to the airport by public transit, but not Sofia. Today's journey is 4423, departing Sofia at 12:35 p.m. and arriving in Yerevan at 5:15. Flight time will be 2 hours and 40 minutes, taking into account the 2-hour time difference. Now the metro station at Sofia Airport is located next to Terminal 2, which is the main international terminal. The vast majority of flights depart from here, but for some reason my Wizz Air flight left from the much older and much smaller Terminal 1. Luckily there are free shuttle buses and switching terminals takes about 15 minutes. Terminal 1 originally opened in 1937, but it was renovated at the turn of the millennium. And yeah, it is rather tiny with a handful of shops and places to get food. To be frank, this feels a bit like a bus station, but it is clean and functional, and it has this lovely chandelier complete with a vintage map of Europe. The Wi-Fi isn't great and security as well as immigration ended up taking quite a while because the terminal was rather busy on this Friday morning. Luckily, I didn't have any bags to drop. Airside, you'll find a duty-free shop, a cafeteria and a few gates. There really isn't much to show you here, so let's talk a bit about Wizz Air. Founded in 2004, Hungarian airline Wizz Air is today one of the largest budget carriers in Europe and beyond. They have a fleet of more than 220 planes and fly to over 190 destinations. One of their strong suits is that they don't just operate in Europe, but they also have lots of connections to the Middle East, Central Asia and North Africa. They even fly to the Maldives of all places. As you would expect, Wizz Air isn't known for comfort or friendliness, and their reputation for reliability and punctuality isn't the best either. But yeah, Wizz Air's main strength has always been their network, and it's here where they truly outshine their European competition. On a different note, their baggage policy is almost identical to Ryanair and EasyJet. As such, you get a personal item for free and have to pay extra for a larger cabin bag as well as checked luggage. The rules are similar, but I do have to say that, in general, Wizz Air charges more than the competition for extra luggage. As you can see, the terminal was quite busy and we started boarding around 10 minutes before the scheduled departure time. Unfortunately, the process was a bit of a mess. I have flown Wizz Air 15 times in the past and they somehow always struggle to get people on board quickly. Ryanair is much better at this, if you ask me. Anyhow, our A321 Neo was parked at a remote stand, so first we had to get there by bus. Before we get on board, let me quickly mention today's sponsor, Tomtoc. Tomtoc is a luggage brand that stands for high-quality products at reasonable prices. I have been using their 40-liter T66 Navigator backpack over the last few months, and I have been super impressed by its practicality and sturdiness. It has lots of very clever features like a laptop compartment from which you can access the main compartment if you need to take out your liquids at airport security, for example. The Navigator has become my go-to carry-on backpack and I can easily travel for months at a time with just this bag. In this context, I uploaded a full packing guide and bag review showcasing all of its features. Tomtoc also recently sent me their 3.5-liter Aviator X-Pack Sling. I have been testing out this crossbody bag over the last few weeks and it is amazing. It has enough space for all of my essentials, like my ZV-1, my Osmo Action, my wallet, my headphones, my passport, and even my Samsung A9 tablet. Apart from lots of internal divisions, it also has RFID blocking technology and water-resistant materials. Priced around $60, this is excellent value for money and the ideal complement to my Navigator backpack. Check out the links in the description for both bags if you are interested. A massive thanks to Tomtoc for sponsoring this video, and now let's get back to Wizz Air. My ride to Armenia is an Airbus A321 Neo delivered to Wizz Air in March 2024. As such, this plane was less than 1 year old at the time of filming. This A321 Neo fits 230 passengers in a 3+3 all-economy configuration. I am sitting in 5 Alpha today, a window seat at the front of the plane. And yeah, credit where credit's due, the legroom is pretty good for a low-cost airline, better than most of the competition. There is a standard tray table and a seat back pocket containing the magazine. The cabin was clean overall, but as you can see, there were already quite a few traces of usage, which is quite staggering on such a young aircraft. Anyhow, there is no recline, but these seats are perfectly adequate for a couple of hours. I wouldn't want to fly from Milan to Abu Dhabi on this plane though. Due to the inefficient boarding process, we ended up departing with a half-hour delay.
Charging of an electronic device on board is forbidden. Should you have any problem with your device, such as overheating, smell or smoke, please inform the cabin crew immediately. Thanks for attention.
passengers, as soon as we reach our cruising altitude, we'll start with our onboard services. In the seat pocket in front of you, you'll find our onboard magazine, and on the last page is the full range of hot and cold drinks, alcoholic beverages, sandwiches, snacks, and also perfumes, and our wide gift selection. On today's flight, we accept cash payments in Bulgarian leva and euros, as well as Visa and MasterCard debit and credit cards, and for your convenience, we recommend paying by card. Thank you for your attention and enjoy the flight.
Wizz Air's onboard menu is quite extensive, and prices are on par with Ryanair and EasyJet, and quite a bit cheaper than Pegasus, which I recently reviewed. They also have country-specific products, which they sell if you're flying to or from that country. And to my delight, this flight was very well catered, because almost everything on the menu was available, which is quite rare on European low-cost airlines. As such, I got a rather delicious cream cheese soup for €3.70. Like on the majority of budget airlines, the in-flight experience is pretty non-existent and there is zero entertainment. On the plus side, the Wizz Air magazine does have quite a few interesting articles and not just ads. As you would expect from a one-year-old plane, the loo was clean, and the cabin crew were friendly, fast, and professional. Something that hasn't always been the case on my previous Wizz Air journeys. We were soon in the mighty Caucasus and approaching Armenia. We landed in Yerevan at 5:40 p.m, 25 minutes behind schedule. I paid €67 for this journey, including 40 in add-ons. A great deal overall, but I do have to mention that Ryanair charges €25 for the exact same add-on package. But yeah, if you fly personal item only, this is insane value for money. And by the way, if you fly into Yerevan, don't bother with the taxis because they're gonna scam you big time. Just take the bus right outside the terminal building, which will get you to the city center in 45 minutes for 500 Armenian dram. To conclude, this was a very good flight, but I still think that Wizz Air falls short of their European competition in a few categories. Yes, they have a fantastic network, but they cannot really compete when it comes to reliability and punctuality. And that is why this flight gets a 6.5 out of 10. As always, let me know your opinion down below. Thanks very much for watching and see you in the next one. Goodbye.